Hello everyone, this is Christy with MyScrapbookEvolution.com, and I'm proud to be taking part in the Handmade Holidays blog hop for 2016. This is actually part 2 of my video tutorials. It's kind of a bonus. We'll be making a wreath which you can use with your no-sew felt cat ornaments. You'll need some ribbon or twine, some burlap, and you'll need a wreath. It can be one made out of grapevine like I have, or you can choose one with greenery. I like the idea of using the burlap because it's something I know my cats would like to scratch on. I cut a sheet of burlap down into some thin ribbons. If you can find burlap in ribbon form, it will save you a quick step. And you're just going to wrap it around the wreath itself. You don't necessarily need to glue it down at this point. We can do that later when we make sure that everything is in the right place. After you put the burlap down, trim off any excess pieces, any fringe that might be coming off, and then you can choose ribbon or twine and wrap that around the burlap. I chose some green velvet ribbon. I chose some wooden letters to put on the wreath. They say Meowy Christmas, and I wanted to add a little something to them to make them a little more visually interesting. I decided to use a wood burning tool to add some simple designs, and that's key for me here because I am not very experienced with wood burning. So I kept my designs to simple stripe patterns, diagonal stripes and horizontal ones, as well as polka dots. So the wood burning design is optional, as is the next step. You can add a little bit of color to the wood letters with ink. Simply lay the letter on a plastic plate and press the ink onto it. You may need to press the letter a little bit into the ink pad. Now, some inks might be a little bit bubbly, so what I've done here is to take a little bit of water and I'm using a brush to pull the color more evenly across that wooden letter and to get rid of some of the bubbles. And you can see I've got my assistant. This is my cat, Little Bit. She's hanging out while I'm making the wreath. So again, just laying the letter either onto the plastic plate or directly onto the ink pad. Add a little water and pull the color through. Now some ink pads are going to be juicier than others depending on how long you've had them or the type of ink that you're using. I'm using an ink by color box that's designed to be used with wood. And of course you're going to need to let them dry in between working on the letters and gluing it onto your wreath. As you change colors, use a baby wipe to wipe down the plastic plate. And if there's too much ink, like this pad here is very juicy, you can wipe it off the letter a little bit with a baby wipe. I use baby wipes for a lot of things. The nice thing about adding color to the letters is that it kind of hides any imperfections that you may have had with the wood burning. I mentioned before that I'm not very experienced with the wood burning tool. A couple of my lines were a little more heavy-handed than others. So using the darker ink on the letters with those areas where I kind of felt I had a mistake made it a little more forgiving. It kind of hid some of my errors. And I just chose a few letters in each color. Another tip here, when you're choosing your colors, just choose 2 or 3. Keep the palette simple. Once you have your letters completed and you have your felt cats completed, all you have to do is glue them down to the wreath. Now, if you want to learn how to make the felt cats, be sure to check out the other video that I'm going to link to for you so that you can make your own felt cats, which can also be ornaments for your Christmas tree. And don't forget to stop by and see the rest of the projects for the Handmade Holidays Blog Hop 2016.